You're ready for that great job interview, aren't you? You might have been laid off. You may have walked off. You may have just said, I've had enough. Or, the companies are downsizing. They are hit with inflation too. Our prices went up because they have less employees. So they're still trying to get their bottom line. They're still trying to get their money in here at any cost necessary. Okay, so you may be without a job. You may have worked at a company for 20, 30, 40 years, 15 years, 5 years, and all of a sudden, oh, you're laid off, and you're out there stomping around and trying to get work. So I'm going to give you some tips and things for you to pay attention to, because some things are illegal and some companies will try it with you. And sometimes you have to fight back and speak up a certain way and not be afraid. All right? Not be afraid. You just have to speak up and talk, because it's not going to help you in the long run. You may wind up finding out that this company really wasn't for you and that you wasted your time even coming into this company. The first thing you should know, that a company has to abide by being equal employment opportunity. That means for everybody. It's not about black or white, Asian, nothing. It's everybody. It's a balance for everybody so that they don't get discriminated, that they don't get hurt. Whether you're Hispanic, Hawaiian, whatever, okay? Nothing should discriminate you and make you feel bad about you and what you have in your life. The first one is age. They shouldn't be asking you how old you are. That's age discrimination. You can be 99. If you want to work at McDonald's at 99, fine. Go right ahead. You're able to get there, you drive, or somebody drops you off, you decide you want to work at McDonald's. Age should not stop you. All right? Disability or anything, that shouldn't stop you from going to get work. If you want to try something for part-time, mostly people with disability, they have a money top line they can't hit right now, threshold. And a lot of them would work, but they're afraid of losing their benefits. And some senior citizens, they're afraid, I'm going to lose this and that. And so they won't go out there and do anything. You would probably have a great workforce if some of these people could go out there and work. But when the government stops them with a certain amount of money, they can't get past that lower income level because they depend on it right now, and they shut it off because I went to work and I can't get my footing and get it together, is nonsense. But age is not it. They shouldn't be asking you about your family. Okay? How many dogs you got? How many cats? Blah, blah, blah. We shouldn't even be getting into this. We got to remember it's professional. They should be on professional status. You should be on professional status at all times. Okay? They don't need stuff we don't need to know. They don't need to worry about your gender. When you walk in, you'll show what you are. We don't need to discuss it. Marriage, are you married or not? No. Are you single? No. We don't need to talk about that. Just keep it in the back of your mind when you walk in. What's your nationality? If they can't see what's going on, tough cookies. And they'll go with all the stuff. We have to have a diverse, we need to know exactly what you are. You're just walking into an interview, okay? You don't need to. They got a little form sometimes for the government later on that, discloses, that gives some companies extra money for hiring. They did, but, things are happening. And, just kind of keep that to the vest. They really don't need to know, because that's one of the top things. There's 6 things there that they can get in trouble for. Religion is the last one. What religion are you? Who cares? They may believe in God. They may not believe in God. They may believe in more than one God. They may believe there's a man walking around on earth now that's a God. Got nothing to do with it. We're worrying about the job and can you do the job. It's the job. That's got nothing to do with the job. What my religion is has nothing to do with can I do the job. So you got age, family, gender, marriage, nationality, and religion. And let me tell you, a lot of companies have been sued for millions of dollars for some of those questions that they got into those 6 things and violated. The wrong questioning. And that's up on them. That wasn't your fault. That's them. Before you go to a job interview, go hit to the internet. Okay? Look up that job, that company you're getting ready to go to. Research it. Research the salary. How much is the minimum? How much is the maximum? Okay? Have they been reported to the Better Business Bureau? Or some other compliant thing you can look up in the Consumer Financial, up in the federal government? Have they been sent there? You need to know what you're walking into. Are there negative reviews? Now companies like to buy up like the first spaces up there, and some of them actually have company employees put good reviews. You have to keep digging sometimes and find a couple of those bad reviews. And some of them are bad for a reason, because they just didn't work out and they're angry. But if there's some there that seems like something's going on, at least you know what's going on. Okay? Make sure you're dressed appropriately. Do not go in there, you got a hoodie on top of your head, you got the gold rings or whatever going on, and maybe you haven't taken care of your hair, maybe you have poor hygiene. This is not the time to walk in there. Pants falling down, whatever, okay? Go in with your best foot forward. Look good. Smell good. Don't be hanging there. The women, dress appropriately whether you want to or not. We are not looking for the new boyfriend and the new girlfriend. That goes for the men too. Shirts buttoned up, girls button it up, nice dress, not too short. You're not trying to show those. That's not the job you're looking for. Okay, if that's not the job, don't do it. If that's the job you're looking for, okay, go for it. Maybe they want to see all that. We don't want to see all that when you're coming into a job. I've interviewed people. I interviewed people for my business. I interviewed people when I was with other companies, when I was teaching. I interviewed teachers. I've interviewed principals. I've been at different places. I've interviewed. I've seen people walk in that. You've got 1 minute. When you walk into that room, these people are going to size you up, whether you like it or not. Everybody's got a bias and a personality back there and something they don't want to see or know. Or they're just too curious. And you remember, you walk in there, you got 1 minute to prove yourself. And that 1 minute is your clothing and the way you're walking and what you have on. There's some people in there, they have biased the long fingernails. Like, how do they work if they got that? Or do they want to hear the click, click, click? Some have bias about hairstyles. Okay, we know they do. They got the Crown Act. They got other things trying to go on they shouldn't be doing. But pull yourself together. And as you interview, and if you research it before you walk in, you're going to find out a whole lot about that company before you even walk through the door, so you know how to act if you want to be there. You may find out, I don't think I want to stay there. You can find out about turnover rates, who leaves, when do they leave, what's going on, what the age range is. You can find all that stuff on there if you dig for it on the internet, because somebody's going to put it up there. And YouTube, somebody puts stuff up there like, you don't want to go to that company, let me tell you, okay? They're going to put it up there. Start digging and researching for your own peace of mind. Try to arrive early. Do not park in front of the windows where the staff can see you. Maybe your future boss. They're looking at you and you're outside smoking a cigarette, having a party by yourself, or bopping to some music. Okay, you arrive early, 5 minutes, and get ready and walk through that door. And another thing with me, I move my car. I don't want my car to be over even seen by anybody. I don't care if you got a raggedy car. I don't care if you got a new car. You got people that are jealous sometimes over your car. And you may not even think about it. They probably can't. Some people can't afford a car. Look at that. It may be as raggedy as all get out, but but it drives, right? So you don't want to be seen over there. Park way over if you can. Okay, and just go about your business. If you're handicapped, park in the handicapped space, get out. It's okay. They shouldn't be discriminating anyway. Okay? Disability Act, no. Okay? Walk into the interview, smile, say hello, because you are walking into them. They shouldn't be telling you hello, blah, 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 blah. Speak up first. Hello, how are you? Is everybody doing? How is everybody? Hello, hello. It's nice to see everybody. And have a seat where they ask you to sit. Okay, don't pick your own seat. Just kind of stand there a minute, and then they'll point you their way. Oh, you can sit right here, okay? But remember, they're sizing you up while you're doing all this. And remember, they're not your friends. Now, you may have an inside friend sitting there with the interview smiling and going on, but you need to ignore that person right quick. That's all they need is you got an inside person like, oh, this is my cousin, blah, blah, blah. This is blah, blah, blah. Okay, it puts them on the spot and it puts you on the spot, really. Because they're like, you brought this person here. What if you interview bad? They're going to look at the person and go, what'd you bring them here for? Okay? And everything. So don't do that. We don't need you when you introduce yourself about your nickname. We don't want to know you're little Nene and you're 9 feet tall. Okay? Just unprofessional. You got to stay professional. You can smile and go on, but there's some stuff you don't need to let out. Okay, you don't work there. You're not little Nene. You're not Big Papa. Some people get really upset, and women will size you up. There's some men size you up like 5 seconds, but women, I think they're 1 or 2. They look at you from the bottom to the top, and real quick, and they already got it. It's like, nope, don't think so. Nope, they'll criticize. I hate to say this, women, but we do. We criticize and we looking, is your hair straight? Is da-da-da-da-da. We're looking at the physical. You walked in. You didn't even have to say a word. That's why I say 1 minute. You got 1 minute to impress. Walk in there with confidence. You know, maybe a portfolio, maybe you've written out everything, just say, I redid my resume, or does everybody have a copy of my resume? Always have some type of folder with you. I got copy right here. No, you don't have to go to the copy machine. I have an extra right here. Be prepared. Look good. Okay? And you may have updated it or redid it again. Look at it and say, oh, this is a new, fresh copy. I don't think it's the same one that you have. All right, and they'll be interested about what you did, and take a few minutes to read that, and we will start the interview. Okay? You don't need to put in there about you went to jail. They're going to find that out anyway. Okay? They're going to probably do a background check. Okay? We don't need to blare it out right now. And if they ask you, why did you leave? You were laid off, probably. Most of the people now are laid off. Or it may be a career move for a better job. I moved to this new town. I need to get a better job, a nice job. I like this town. Keep it on the up and up. And not divulge all of that information. Sometimes we let out all that information, and then you wonder why your stuff is on the internet. If you've been in jail, like I said, they're going to find out on the background thing. And you have to find that employer that's friendly toward jail. They should not be discriminating and about any of that. And I'm expecting it to hit with the top 6 up there about what you don't ask during the interview one day. But I think some states, you can't do that. You cannot discriminate because somebody, yes, we want to be safe. But some things are not important. Okay, yes, you smoke marijuana. Whoopee, what's that got to do with the job? Just as long as you don't smoke it on the premises, you're doing your job, you're here on time, Shouldn't have anything to do with it. Okay, now other things that are like big no-nos, well, we have to think about it. Or if you have been somewhere and you have your probation officer, working out the details, okay, but work those details out. Get everything straightened up before you walk up in there, so you're not whining about they won't hire me because I'm in jail. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go out here and rob someplace because I don't have any money. Work the details out. Get the details together. Okay, so they have crazy questions that they ask. Okay, I call them crazy questions. Okay, like, what is your weakness? Okay, sometimes you don't want to talk about your weakness. We know you don't. It's a bad interview question. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Okay, and how are you going to answer some of that stuff? Let me try another one. Why should you hire me? Your mind is going, because I'm good at the job. What? People hesitate when they're in there when people ask those questions. I've been on committees and I'm looking at the person asking the question like, you doofus. What'd you do that for? What does this company do? Now, you can be prepared for that. Well, I searched on the internet and I found out that your company does this, and I think that I'm a perfect match for your company. Okay, now some places you can't ask about prior job salary or anything. They have like the Fair Pay Act, so you need to check your hiring laws on the internet according to your state too, because there's different laws going on in states that they can't do stuff about your past prior salary. Okay, or what does the job entail? You wanted to hire me, but you're asking me what does the job entail. Okay, stupid question, really stupid question, but do your research and answer, well, according to your website, it says this, and then put it back on them. Does it have any more things about this job I should know about? Throw it back at them. Who did you vote for? Your voting is yours, okay? Your mama shouldn't be asking you who you voted for. I know my mama don't. My dad don't ask. None of them ask me who I voted for. I can walk in there and vote for a bum on the street that's drunk. Write him in on the bottom. Okay, Lulu. And go. They will never ask me. Now, they may, before you vote, go, oh, that sounds good. They're saying blah, 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 okay? But they want me to weigh who I vote for. So what makes you think that a stranger can ask you or ask me who I voted for? I can change my mind in an instant. That's why people don't say who they voted for. You don't know whether a Democrat walked in and voted mostly Republican or Republican voted mostly Democrat. You really don't know. Or they went independent. You don't know. The only way they know is because you opened your mouth. But that's one question, who did you vote for? And just pull it back. Is that a qualification for the job? Is that wasn't on, your company about who I voted for? What does that have to do? What do I got to do with that? Sometimes we get scared and we won't speak up. And some of those companies are looking for that. They're like, are you going to fall for this? Are you going to sit there and be the little peon that, no, I voted Republican. Why would you say it? The only reason some of them want to know too is to boot you out. Like, oh, we're mostly Democrat over here, or we're mostly Republican. We don't want them in here. We don't want them at the Friday donut place with us eating or after school thing. We're talking about mostly Republican stuff or Democrat stuff or independent stuff. And they'll boot you up out of there just for some crazy question. The best thing to answer for some of these questions is that, what's your weakness? I like to do things to the end. I want to make sure my project is correct. I like to finish. That's my weakness. I want to finish it till I complete it. How do you get along with people? Some people you get along with in life and some you don't. And you just have to work through it. and you have to work together. And I've learned to work together by teamwork, or I may have to work on a project individually. But I work at it with the best of my ability. And I get most upset when I can't finish a project. And you like to work and focus on details. That's your only imperfection. You like details. You want things to look great. You don't like to miss deadlines. Keep it focused on the business. Clamp it back is what we used to say. Clamp it back. Just take the clamp and throw it back at them. Don't let them get you. Okay? Now, crazy questions you can ask that you shouldn't be asking. What's the pay? If you researched it, you already know what the pay scale is. Now, the problem is with them, they're like, what's your minimum or maximum pay? Okay, one thing they like to lowball you, especially now. Inflation's coming. And so if you say, well, I'll take $10 an hour. And so they're going, whoa, yeah, they didn't check. Okay, we start at 15. We can hire them for 10. You just lowballed yourself. What's your highest? You may lowball yourself and just say, according to your website, it says the salaries between this and that and blah, 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 without even disclosing your prior pay. Throw it back on them. Don't ask about time off and benefits. You're not hired yet. That needs to be off the table. Don't ask what they do. You should have researched it. On the internet, look good. You researched it. When can you apply for your next promotion? Don't ask that. You haven't been hired yet. You need to be in the door before you ask about benefits, promotion. Matter of fact, benefits, they should have that written down already. Health benefits, that type of thing. But positions, some companies actually put you'll be a raise in 6 months, whatever amount. You may have a raise after a year. You may have vacation time, some of them a year, 6 months, 2 years, You may get certain days, like you may have 5 days off after you work, blah, blah, blah. At the beginning, you may be working mostly holidays that first year, which is expected. You're a rookie, okay? So you got to get yourself together. You don't sit there and talk about your family. Well, I got to get off this time, and well, I get it. Don't apply. If you got to get your family straightened out before you walk up out of there. Okay, if you're a single parent or whatever, or the time schedule's off between you and your husband, or you and your spouse or partner or wife, you have to get that schedule straightened out before you walk out of there for an interview. You got to talk to somebody like your partner and say, look, what time can I apply for this job? It's at this time. Are you going to be home during that time? They may be working. And so that you're not in there going, I have to be home by blah, blah. You got this already out before you went in there. Okay. You don't need to ask also. Do you do background checks? Just assume that they do, because if you ask, they're going to go, why did they ask that question? Is something wrong with them? What happened? Okay, don't ask about the gossip, and don't go up to somebody, wait, tell me about this place. Somebody you don't even know in the first place. Tell me about this place. Can you give me some little info? I've seen people walk up to me. I'm sitting there going, no, I'm not interested in talking to you about this. You don't know them, and you just sidle on up. What you need to be doing is sidling out that door. Saute like an onion and just going out the door, and stop making friends that you may not see again, okay? So you don't want any gossip. Don't ask, do you monitor the email or the internet or phone calls? Just assume that they do, because that's not your property. If you put a personal email on there, it could be blasted accidentally all over the company and even the country. I've seen people blasting emails of other people they're mad at all across the internet, and it's on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. Or or you're using the internet inappropriately and it's not for work. Okay, I know some people play little games on there and all this stuff, but remember, your personal information is on a computer that is shared. So anybody can have access to it. So think about what you're doing. Your boss has access to it. They can key into what you're doing. Are you working enough hours? They can look up the hours. What are you doing? That's not your personal property. You need to ask about cell phones. Are they on or off? Think in your mind. Don't ask the question. These are things don't ask, but think. Look around. Or do they have their cell phones out or are they not? Do they allow them at work or not? Don't argue about it unless you have a distinct reason. Okay, maybe you use the calculator on there and they don't have a calculator and you need the calculator at that certain job. Explain to your supervisor, boss, this is what I do with it. I'm not calling in and out. I'm just using the calculator unless you have something better that I can use. That's all I'm doing. But don't be going all around and taking phone calls. That phone should be silent if it's not being used. So that if you do have an emergency and it comes up, you see the emergency silently. That's it. Okay, don't ask about changing jobs, detail, time, salary, all that stuff. The schedule. Don't try to change things that you have no control over. You will never have control over right now. You're not there. So think of those things when you are applying for an interview. There's more things, but I found out those have seemed to been the bad things that come up that are not, make people not successful in what they're doing, and they don't know. A lot of people don't know about those things that they're not supposed to be asking about age. You know, they go in there, oh, I'm 53 years young, you know, and then they go, boop, well, that's out, you know. Some of them are volunteer information. Don't volunteer stuff. You're in professional mode. If you want to volunteer stuff, go back to your car, lock the door, start driving, and then go, yeah, I'm 53 years old. I got this. Okay, whatever. Okay. If you don't get the job, quit taking it personally. There's a lot of personalities in there sometimes. Sometimes it's a group, and sometimes it's the boss. They have a personality just like you have a personality. You have desires, things you want in certain people that may not be happening in your mind or in life. And you look at this person and go, oh no, oh no. You may have a bias against youth. They may be walking in there springy and happy and you look like, oh no, I can hardly move. Why would I want them in my company? Okay, blah, 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 blah. So it's not personal. It's just not personal. They got their own thing going on. You have your own thing going on. Watch what you're doing. You'll get it. Have a good day. Good luck to those. Good fate. Good abundance. Good wealth. Whatever you believe in. Take care. Bye-bye.